story. It could be based on a statute. If it's based on a statute, then it could sometimes affect the public very directly. If not, if it's just within the president's inherent constitutional powers, the permissible scope of an executive order is no wider than whatever his supervisory power is under Article 2 of the Constitution. Every new administration starts with a lot of executive orders, and if there's been a change that can be done by executive order, it can be revoked by executive order. So that's not to be fine, and sometimes they'll be second-guessed by the courts. And when it is second-guessed by the courts, that's just checks and balances at work, right? That's order place of birth, except, again, for children of...
There will forever be, to make the argument, that we're entering a territory where it's not about policy disagreements between the right and left, it's about what's legal or constitutional and what is not.
Yes.
And so, categorize immigration enforcement or hawkish policies as authoritarian-like. And it's like, well, does it violate statutes or the Constitution, or is this just a policy that you don't like that seems overbearing? And so I want to be really clear here, because just saying, oh, they're attacking DEI, well, that doesn't necessarily mean it's unconstitutional or illegal. Lots of people could have various sort of flashing red lights in this moment as...
...perfection. But they have not overturned the idea of multi-member independent agencies like the Fed or the National Labor Relations Board. Trump fired the chairwoman of the NLRB, Gwen Wilcox, hoping that she would sue. They're hoping to get that in front of the Supreme Court. It's clearly a violation of the statute, but one has to say this was done with this explicit hope that this would get before the Supreme Court and, it'll be resolved.
Branch reports to the president. Therefore,
executive theory comes in different flavors. The vanilla flavor is just the first thing you said, that the president, because of the executive power vesting clause, can fire at will anyone in the executive branch. The idea that you went on to say, which is that assignments to the executive branch were really assignments to the president. He decided, I feel like writing environmental regulations myself. I'm just going to do that rather than have EPA do it. That is, I would say, not necessarily the mainstream unitary executive theory view, although, it has some prominent scholarly advocates. The core of the theory is the president can fire anyone. The Supreme Court, under Roberts, has come close to saying something which kind of underlies that view.
So this gets at whether it's legal for Trump to fire heads of agencies. It also gets at whether it's legal for Trump and the Department